Coming up on First at 4, gun safety is being put front and center at one event this weekend in southern Kentucky. And the nephew of one woman reportedly found dead near the Gaza border speaks publicly about the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict.
Plus, high pressure means warm temperatures and dry conditions this week. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Families in southern Kentucky are encouraged to take part in an event promoting gun safety and Halloween this Saturday. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what will take place in Whitley County.
There have been 3 deadly shootings involving children in this part of Kentucky in the last 3 to 4 months. There have been 2 in Laurel County, 1 here just north of here in Corbin in Whitley County. All of these cases, kids have died the result of shootings. Police say most of these are simply accidents.
Like she said, my house is like this too.
Heather Fuson's office is filled with images from scary movies. Those images are in place all over Williamsburg also as Halloween is fast approaching. But local police and health leaders say there's another scary event taking place far too often in this community. Kids getting a hold of guns and firing them, and in 3 cases, there's been deadly consequences. The event Saturday at Kentucky Splash will include a trunk or treat with local sponsors, along with other fun events. But the purpose is to educate families of the danger that could be in their homes in hopes of curbing a frightening statistic.
I am in no way an expert on gun safety, but what I can do is teach kids how they can stay safe by themselves. So if there is a gun in their home, because in our area, we have a lot of gun owners, and I understand that. And in no way are we trying to say that you can't be a gun owner, but we want you to be a responsible gun owner.
And this is the second event like this that's been held in this part of Kentucky in the past month or so. In late September, we told you about how London Elementary held the Eddie Eagle program, which is a nationally known program that's been in place since 1988, which basically teaches kids a simple song to stop, don't touch, and get an adult when they see a gun. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Phil, thank you. Along with the guest speakers and trick-or-treating, there will also be face painting, a photo booth, and drawings for prizes at the event this weekend. Free gun locks will also be passed out. A new economic development center is coming to a town in the Big Sandy. Paintsville Independent Schools administrators are fundraising for a new economic development center. The building will give students the opportunity to experience more individual learning with specific pathways. Superintendent David Gibson says they are trying to keep students in Johnson County by expanding programs in the district.
We, through the pandemic, have learned that kids are learning different. They're more hands-on, they're more industry-based, and the days of just going to college and getting a college education in the past, we look to have certificate trainings in several areas from engineering to drone technology.
Gibson also says they are halfway through fundraising for the project. Advisor to the governor, Rocky Adkins, presented grant money as part of what they have raised so far. We'll have much more on this project coming up tonight at 6.
Well, as promised, the forecast is fantastic. On your Monday, we are tracking some sunshine, also some nice temperatures across the region. Let's take a live look from Pulaski County, and this is courtesy of the Kentucky Mesonet. And check this out, plenty of blue sky, just an awesome day across the mountains to kick off the work week. And temperatures across the region in the upper 60s and lower 70s, up to 74 in Clay County at Manchester, 72 for Somerset, 69 for Jackson, 66 over in Pikeville at this hour. So we are fantastic. And that awesome weather is going to continue into this evening also for several days in a row, all thanks to high pressure that is parked off to the east, and that will sit there for a few days. So that means an increase in those temperatures by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, also into the weekend, also a decrease in those rain chances. So we are tracking a stretch of dry, also warm weather across the region, maybe a small chance of a stray shower by Friday, also Saturday, but even there the confidence is pretty low. But we are tracking our next rain chance by late Monday, also into your Tuesday, and possibly a chilly Halloween by next week. We could go from 80 on Monday to 50 by Tuesday. Those details plus your full 7-day forecast on the way in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Israel has ramped up its airstrikes across Gaza, including in areas where civilians have been told to seek refuge. One Defense Department official says Washington has advised Israel to delay a possible ground invasion to allow more time to try and secure the release of captives held by Hamas. Dory Roberts is an American who says he learned last week that his aunt was found dead at the Gaza border. The Texas man says he found out through a Hamas TikTok video that 5 of his family members back in Israel were kidnapped during the surprise attack.
The fact that we're still looking for any kind of relief, any kind of news. Are they well? Are they not well? Are they still alive? It is a day-to-day, it's an hour-by-hour struggle. It's not easy, not for me, not for my family, not for anybody out there who have a missing and kidnapped people by the Hamas. We just don't know anything.
Roberts says he also has a half-cousin who is missing, but he does not know if he is among the hostages. Meanwhile, the Israel Defense Forces continue to fight back, killing hundreds in Gaza over the weekend. The southern Israeli town of Sderot, usually a bustling community of about 24,000 residents, resembled a ghost town today after residents evacuated under a government order. The town is one of the closest to the border with Gaza, where Israel has been engaged in a military campaign against Hamas. Sderot has been the target of numerous rocket attacks from Gaza and was also a target of an attack by Palestinian militants on October 7th. A total of 34 trucks filled with desperately needed aid traveled into Gaza from Egypt over the weekend, but none of those vehicles were carrying fuel supplies, which is vital for running hospitals and treating water in the isolated territory. Aid workers and international leaders warned that the supplies were insufficient to combat the humanitarian situation in Gaza. As war rages in the Middle East, this week marks a grim anniversary for America's role in the region. Monday is 40 years to the day since hundreds of American service members lost their lives in an attack in Lebanon. On October 23, 1983, 220 Marines and 21 other service personnel were killed by a truck bomb at a Marine compound in Beirut. It was the deadliest attack against U.S. Marines since the battle over Iwo Jima in 1945. Medical experts agree that stress causes unnecessary harm to our bodies, and the war between Israel and Hamas is upping that stress, a situation people cannot control that is creating high levels of tension and anxiety for many people. Dr. Michelle Tugati is a professor of psychological science at Vassar College. She says focusing on the little things can have profound effects on the body and mind.
Pouring yourself a warm cup of coffee, appreciating the sunrise when you wake up, reading a good book, or writing in your gratitude journal. What this does is there's called the undoing hypothesis, where it helps bring down and help you recover from that stress and build up your reserves.
According to Tugati, cultivating positive emotions will help regulate physiological activity and limit the negative effects of stress. Coming up on First at 4, one budget airline cancels nearly 200 flights during the weekend.
Plus, drought conditions may worsen this week as we stay mainly dry. Those details coming up after this break.